Welcome back to Reels Recaps. Today I will show you a 2019 comedy drama film titled Jojo Rabbit. Jojo is a 10-year-old who lives in the fictional Falkenheim city, which is where Nazi Germany begins to crumble. He keeps Adolf Hitler, his imaginary friend, but cannot tie his shoelaces. Jojo is a nationalist, a Nazi fanatic, and has been indoctrinated by Nazi ideas. He wants to do his part for his country and joins Jungvolk with Yorkie, the junior section. The whole family spends the weekend in a camp that is run by Freddie Finkel and Fräulein Raham, the League of German Girls leader. The girls are given special daggers, kid-sized uniforms, and guided through a series of different activities, including grenade throwing, trench digging, map reading, gas defense, and more. At least the boys do. Girls are instructed on how to make beds, dress wounds, and get pregnant. Jojo is good at describing Jewish culture and burning books, but he becomes scared when faced with hand-to-hand fighting. This attracts the older boys' attention. Jojo's reticence is evident when the teenagers ask him to show them how to kill a rabbit. Jojo says he's not scared, but still cannot bring himself to kill the rabbit. He tries to release it. The teen boy, however, grabs the rabbit before it runs away and kills him himself. He then makes fun of Jojo's failure. He is called Jojo Rabbit because he looks like a rabbit. This upsets Jojo and he runs to the forest. He is sitting on the root of a tree crying when an imaginary Hitler appears and says that rabbits can be very brave. They go into the woods every day and get carrots. Jojo, encouraged to prove himself a powerful rabbit, runs to the camp where Klenzendorf teaches kids how to throw grenades. Jojo steals his grenade and runs into the forest. He throws it so hard that the grenade bounces off a tree, explodes on Jojo's face, then lands in the dirt. Jojo is knocked out, but has blurry memories of people bringing him to the hospital, and Rosie Betzler coming to visit him. When he wakes up in his bedroom a few days later, his first thought is to get out of his bed and notice the limp. The second thing is that he sees the scars on his face when looking in the mirror. He is greeted by his mother, who hugs him and tells him he has her no matter what. His father died and Inga was dead. Rosie, after making Jojo put on the uniform, takes him back to Jungvolk headquarters, where Klenzendorf is awkwardly feeding Finkel. Rosie slaps Klenzendorf with her glove and hits his groin. He promises to give Jojo work, even though it's not on the battlefield, so that he feels included. Jojo's job is to put up propaganda around the town and deliver conscriptions. He does this with enthusiasm. Jojo finds his mother, who is working in the square, staring intently at people being hanged at a public gallows. When Jojo asked her what these people did, she replied, "Whatever they could." He returns home to find his mother has left. When he begins to worry, he can hear noises from the room of his sister. When he enters the room to look around, he finds an odd mark that runs up the wall. He inserts his knife and opens a false section of the wall. Behind it, there's enough space for someone to climb in, and a variety of objects are scattered around. Elsa Kor follows him as he runs and screams around the house. Elsa Kor catches him as he is about to enter the house and shoves him into the wall. She shows him her dagger, admits she is Jewish, and says she was invited to Rosie's home by her. Elsa says that if Jojo ever tells someone about her, she will say they helped her. This would also get her and Rosie killed. Jojo, after Elsa returns with her knife to the hiding place where she was hiding from him, rushes into his bedroom to discuss his options with an imaginary Hitler. After deciding to negotiate with his sister, Jojo grabs the pot and kitchen knife to defend himself. He then goes to her room to let Elsa know that she needs to find a new place to live. When she comes at him again from behind and grabs the knife, he is once more scared. She then kicks him outside. Jojo and the imaginary Hitler discuss things again, concluding that he needs to make Elsa comfortable so that she will let down her guard. Rosie returns in the evening and Jojo informs her that he heard sounds upstairs. She tells him they were rats. Rosie tells Elsa that she must be careful because, if anything were to happen to her, Elsa cannot choose to put her before her son. Rosie reminds Elsa to be careful as they lose as long as at least one other person is alive. Jojo will go to the pool on his next visit, and this should be helpful for him. Klenzendorf, Finkel, and Rosie are all there. They sit close together in fear. Jojo asks Klenzendorf, after his mother leaves, what should he do if found a Jewish individual? The response is that he must call the Gestapo, who will then kill both them and anyone else involved. Jojo asks Klenzendorf how he can identify a Jewish individual. Klenzendorf replies that he does not know and that someone should publish a book on the subject. Jojo attempts to speak to Elsa once he returns home. Jojo explains that they are at a standstill because they can't tell if the other person wants trouble or not. He then offers to let her stay if she gives him information on Jews so he could write an exposé book. Elsa agrees and says that they are people like him. But since he doesn't seem to believe her, Elsa tells him they're greedy demons who have an allergy to food. Elsa quickly realizes Jojo's plan. When he begins to explain that the Aryan people are superior to the Jewish, she grabs him and covers his mouth while shaking him. She then goes to hide. Rosie returns in the evening and burns something on the fire before playing some music and pouring wine. She is very excited because she knows that the Allies will soon take France and Italy. Rosie tells Jojo to stop arguing because he is against France and her country. She then cuts off the discussion by telling him that he should eat. Jojo suspects that she has been saving food to feed Elsa and decides to eat the leftovers. Rosie paints an ash beard to punish Jojo, thinking that his father would have understood if he were present. She also tells her husband to look after her because it's the least she could do. Then she makes Jojo join her in dancing, using her own voice. Jojo then gives Elsa some paper and a pen to help her draw the places where Jewish people reside and Jewish women lay eggs. Elsa begins to draw, but refuses questions about her parents. She does, however, tell Jojo that her fiancé Nathan is fighting for the resistance. She gives Jojo a picture of Nathan's head because it is where Jews live. Jojo comes up with a brilliant plan. He writes Elsie a letter pretending that Nathan is breaking up with her, and then reads it out loud to her. She doesn't really believe it, but she's still upset to hear the horrible things he says about her. Jojo is remorseful after seeing Elsa so human and upset. He writes another letter pretending to be Nathan and telling her that the previous one was not true. Elsa thanked him for his letter and asked him to continue bringing her letters. Elsa is the winner when they play a game to see who can mention more important and famous people. Later, Jojo, Rosie, and I go for a stroll along the riverbank. Rosie tells Jojo how this place used to look different. People were always there dancing, enjoying romance. Jojo was not impressed. Rosie believes that kids should not be talking politics. Instead, she thinks they should play and climb trees. Everyone should dance as a symbol of freedom. Rosie follows Jojo as he rides his bicycle, looking down at him. They see soldiers returning home in a truck who look gloomy. Elsa tells Jojo ridiculous stories to keep him entertained as he returns to his home in a foul mood. Later, he scolds imaginary Hitler for making her feel comfortable and enjoying his company. He tells him that a German should not be ruled by a foreigner. Rosie tells Elsa that she is glad she has her, and she loves seeing her grow into a woman since she could not do this with her own daughter. Jojo visits the Jungvolk headquarters and finds Klenzendorf talking with Finkel, their noses nearly touching. There is a tension between these two men. Jojo tells the two that he is writing an exposé on Jews, and they laugh as if it were not real. Klenzendorf shares with Jojo some of the designs that he has made for Finkel and his uniforms. They are a lot more flamboyant. Jojo is given a task to complete: collect scrap metal for the war effort. Jojo, dressed up as a robot and walking through the streets, sees his mom handing out anti-Nazi flyers. He also runs into Yorkie, who is now a soldier. Yorkie says he only saw a Jewish man in the woods and does not understand the significance of Jojo's capture. This gives Jojo much to consider. As soon as he gets home, he visits Elsa and gives her colored pencils that he found. He also tells her how it is illegal for Jews and Nazis to be close friends. Elsa points to the fact that he wasn't a Nazi because he hadn't hurt Elsa. He was just a kid who wanted to find his place in society. Both agree to disagree. Elsa is so dirty that Jojo lets her leave and go to the bathroom. She even borrows his sister's clothing. The two are about to have a dinner when the knock on the door. After she has run back to hide, Jojo answers the door and finds a Gestapo group led by Hermann Diertz. Klenzendorf, Finkel, and Klenzendorf arrive, claiming they were bringing Jojo some pamphlet, which is a plausible excuse. Diertz immediately begins searching for suspicious activities in the home. Jojo is asked why his mother has been away from him all day, and why he doesn't have his knife on his uniform. Elsa then appears, dressed in Inga's clothing and pretending that she is her. The Gestapo searches her room after she tells them that it was her who grabbed the knife because her brother has been bugging her. Diertz, still suspecting her, asks Elsa for papers. She takes Inga's identification from Inga and gives it to Klenzendorf, who then asks Elsa for her birth date. Elsa correctly guesses and Klenzendorf lets her go. but Daertz intervenes when he finds Jojo's expose book. Klenzendorf is not amused by the Gestapo's demonic drawings. Elsa, however, feels betrayed and upset when she reaches the section in which Jojo describes all of the ways Nathan could die. The Gestapo, happy to not have discovered anything incorrect, leaves. Klenzendorf also leaves after returning Elsa's ID and Jojo's knife. Elsa finds out that the dates on the documents are different than what she had said. This means Klenzendorf was helping them along the way. Jojo points to the fact that nobody knows Inge's dead. Elsa can pretend to be Inge and still live among them. But she is hurt by what's in the book, so tells Jojo she won't become friends. Jojo is yelled at by a fictional Hitler for thinking Elsa was a nice person and trying to become friends with her. Jojo, while out to get some food in the square, finds Rosie hanging at a public gallows. He clings onto Rosie's legs, sobbing his heart out. He even trying to tie her shoe, but to no avail. He is devastated. He goes to his home after staring at Rosie's body for several hours. With his knife, he blames Elsa and is ready to stab her. He only scratches her after she stops him. Elsa comforts him as he begins to cry again. Rosie told Jojo that her father was also fighting in the resistance, but she didn't tell him this because she did not want to upset him. Rosie also admits that her parents have been taken into a concentration camp, and the two of you are left with each other. Jojo begins to go to the street to collect food in waste bins, and he notices the destruction of the city every day. Elsa and Jojo begin to share meals together and enjoy the fake Nathan letters that Jojo has written. The city is in chaos one afternoon when the Allies launch an offensive to take advantage of Hitler's death. Jojo meets Yorkie, who's carrying weapons around, because the army needs soldiers so badly that it is sending out the children. Jojo tells Yorkie that the Jewish woman he captured is now his girlfriend, and he worries because it's against the law. Yorkie says he has met Russians and Japanese, who are far worse than Jews. Ram is the next to find them, and after Yorkie has been sent out with a weapon, gives Jojo a uniform coat so that he will not be accidentally shot by his own side. Jojo becomes dizzy as he watches the fights, which include children, the elderly and Klenzendorf, Finkel and others wearing flamboyant clothing. Jojo, who is afraid to fight in the street, hides inside an abandoned building. After the fighting has calmed down, he returns to the scene and witnesses the Americans removing the Nazi flags in order to display their own. They are celebrating their triumph. The Soviets are grabbing every Nazi, Daertz, the Gestapo, and Jojo, as they can see the jacket he is wearing. Klenzendorf is amongst the prisoners. He tells Jojo that he has been a good son and should look after his sister. Then he takes off his jacket, spits at him, and calls him a Jew, so the soldiers will let him go. Jojo is unable to do anything but watch Klenzendorf being taken by the firing squad. Jojo is on his way back home when he finds Yorkie. Yorkie says that he will go see his mom for a hug. Jojo is crestfallen when he tells him that Elsa can leave now because Jojo's girlfriend has been freed. He rushes home to get back. Elsa is told that Germany has won the war and she cannot leave. But after looking through his books and finding drawings of his mom and a bunny in a cage, he decides to tell a lie and pretend to be writing another letter for Nathan. He then reads the letter to Elsa, telling her he's got a plan to get her to escape the city. Elsa confesses to Nathan's death from tuberculosis last year, and that she found comfort in the letters. Jojo confesses to her that he is in love with her, but knows she loves him more like a sibling, and she accepts this. He wants to assist her anyway. Jojo is upset by this decision and attempts to persuade him to reconsider. However, he finally refuses to listen to the imaginary Hitler and throws him through the window. Elsa hesitates, but Jojo pushes her to the front door. Elsa then slaps Jojo because she lied about the American flag. They decide to celebrate freedom by dancing.